What's up, everyone? Today we are going to talk about the best part of poker, having a lot of chips. I'm going to show you exactly how I use my stack size to crush the competition. You are going to see the secret 35% VPIP range that let me steal blinds and force huge folds from strong players. This is the difference between cashing and winning the tournament. In this episode, I'm going to show you some simple rules for big stack exploitation that will instantly turn you into the table bully. I'm Luna, poker tournament lover, and if you want to dominate, hit that like button and subscribe now. Let's go straight into the hands. Time to stack up. Okay, today we are going to see hands from only one part of the game, only 100 BB plus stack sizes. I also filtered only the hands that went to showdown, but we could also just filter the hands. I could see you only the hands that are going to be played. So here you're going to see several strategy. I will try to show you everything and be the most precise possible. But just make sure that you see well. Here, everything is correct for you. So we are going to go over several hands. We are going to see how I adapt, having a big stack, what I change in my range, in my opening range, everything. So here we have a quite an easy decision. But what is important here is to know that I will go even much lower when I have a big stack and I cover the blinds. So here I cover everyone at the table. So maybe an open range would be, maybe the bottom would be ace-3 off or ace-4 off in theory. But here you really have to open even ace-2 off. So here we have a suited hand, so we don't have a decision. But even with non-suited hands, you really have to open wide here. Something else to really note is that if you open at a big stack size, you're obliged normally, I would say normally in general, it's going to be difficult to put everything at the middle. So if you have a great hand, try to go for big sizings in order to really go all in at the river. So here we have like 80 big blinds deep. So if you really want to put a lot of pressure on your opponent, the best way is to go like 2/3 spot, sometimes overbet all on the turn, on the river, and also on the flop sometimes. So don't hesitate to overbet, I would say in general, if you have a big stack size. This is the first key learning principle. On the turn, we have a decision here, but we are so deep and we are only also on the start of the tournament. I can see here with the level of the blinds that normally you should never, I would say, think too much in those spots. Just try to value as maximum as possible in the early phases of the game. So this is also another thing that is really important. Don't be worried too much. Don't worry too much about if you're going to cut yourself, if you're going to value cut. A value cut just means if you go too much in your value, and so you're only going to be paid by better hands. So here I just go for value here. I really like. In here, he decided to min click me. This is something that should never happen normally at this stack size for several reasons. Is that he gives me so much a good so much equity just to call. If I had only have to add 7 big blinds for a spot that is going to be 37 a pot that is going to be 37 big blinds. Normally I should never fold. I think I should call here. I don't really like my decision. This is normally a spot that is played way too, I would say, way too in value in my opponent's shoes, but I still think that I can call here. Normally you should have never, at least almost no raises on this ace, and if he raises, he should have really big sizings. So here it also showcases one of my mistakes. I think I should call just because we are in early game. I have just the direct equity to call here in to touch sometimes my ace or my tree to be good. So I think really I should call here. We are going to see another hand. We are going to see several hands from several spots. Something also that I see that is people don't do enough is really apply a lot of pressure in the blinds, small blind and big blind when you're in the start of the tournament. I will make just my camera a bit bigger. So when you're at the start of the tournament, you should really focus on winning as much money as possible and to apply as much pressure as possible if you cover all the big blinds. So here, king queen off, you should never fold. you have two decisions. You can either call or raise. And here I really prefer the aggressive route. And so I decided to raise here 4x. 4x is a good sizing here at this stack size depth. Something else to notice is that it's a bounty tournament. So in a bounty tournament, you should be really focused on not putting yourself priced in. So if you have a bad hand or if you have bluffs here, you shouldn't do a too big sizing, or even if you're in value, you shouldn't do a too big sizing. Just because if you do like 10 big blinds, then if he goes all in with the bounty that is worth now maybe, I don't know what's the starting bounty of on this tournament, but maybe the bounty here is worth like 7 or 8 big blinds. So you should really be aware not to do too big oversizings. Here it's a really a standard spot here where we are quite deep, 50 big blinds deep in a 3-bet pot. There's 7, 18 in the middle. So what you should focus on is to make like I think on a wet board that is so dynamic, I would go for 1/3 or half pot and try to put everything at the turn. We'll see what I decide. Yeah, I decided to go 1/3. In turn, we have an ace, so we have two decisions here. We can either go for a small sizing turn, like 1/4. I don't think it's going to be raised even slightly in bluff. I think we can go 1/4. Or you can even check. I like both decisions. You can check also with this hand specifically. So I decided to go half pot. I think I have to call here. Yeah, I really like with my redraw. I cannot fold here, and he has a lot of bluffs on this particular run out. And now I have a small decision here. I could go all in and transform my hand in bluff. But here in early game, something else that you should always remember in early game, there's a lot of people that you will find that are too calling station. So this is also another tip. If you're in early game where there's too many calling stations, make sure that you don't bluff too much, because they are going to be really too calling. Here maybe they will call an ace as as an ace is only I would say a bluff catcher. So it's really not a good hand to call here with an ace in his shoes if I go all in. So you should really be careful. And also don't try to bluff too many players that are way too passive in general, and way too calling station. Okay, a third hand here, it's normal. You should open a lot when you have in your early stages of the tournament. Here we have a small decision here with my hand. I could go for check raise or check call. I like both options. What is going to decide here, I think, is when you are that deep, you should really understand that if you want to put all your stack in the middle, if you want to take all the stack of the opponent, you should have hands that have a strong holding. What does it mean? It means like flush, straights, or even full or trips. It should not be putting everything normally only with the top pair, top kicker. It's all going to be often too narrow, too narrow in value to go all in with those hands, or to go all the stack in the middle. So here I decided to go check raise. I think with my hand, I can also go check call, like both options. Decided to go to a relatively big sizing, which is not uncommon on those boards. It's a board with a lot of gut shots, so it's a board with a lot of floats or a lot of calls in both of our ranges. A lot of hands that will be able to continue. Like here, I like both options. I think I prefer in general going for a big options here. We can check a bit the statistics of the other player. You don't have a lot of information. Normally, I don't look at it when I have that little. But here you have the VPIP. Here you have the PFR, and here you have the 3-bet. So it seems that the player for now is quite aggressive. I decided to go for the call this time. Now you should be really careful because he has a lot of aces that are better than you in his range. So on those spots, it's normally required to check. You can sometimes go for small sizing, but never go for too big of a sizing because you're going to value cut yourself too much. Now they check the turn. I think we have a value at the river, which is quite nice. You could go for something like half pot. Sometimes you could go for two-third spot because you're in early stages of the tournament, so it's not so problematic to cut yourself to have to be only called by better hands. So I went for half pot. I really like, and he decided to call. Yeah, it's not quite an easy call on this for him, and I will explain in several aspects. The problem with the calling with these hands is that he needs because I decided to go for half pot, so I'm representing in general like a ace or like a middle value range, not like two pair plus or trips. So he should really not see his hand as a good candidate to call. Maybe he's in early game, so it's not a critical moment. But in general, you should really understand what is your opponent representing, repping, and what hands, type of hands you want to block or unblock if you want to call here on the spot. Here, for example, queen is not quite a good hand to block, to understand in terms of blockers. But the only thing that he should be worried about is, do I have enough bluffs in this sizing here? Okay, we are going to see maybe also again several hands. I want to make this series quite thoughtful, entertaining, but still also educational. So you can have a lot of knowledge on those. So I will not make them too long. I think in general, go for something like 20 minutes, 30 minutes videos where I go with a deep dive on everything that I know on those spots. And I hope it will really help you on your game. So here you should, in general, in early stages of the tournament, you should always normally c-bet like 1/3 on those mono boards, so it's only one color boards. You should always go for 1/3. It's the normally recommended size, theoretical GTO size, and you should not deviate unless you have really a good read or a good perception of the opponent. Here is a opponent where I only played 17 games against him, so here is the total hands. So when you've only played 17 games against him, you will not have a stronger normally um, knowledge of what he does. Okay, so here we have to, I think, check back. We don't have any value with our 9x. Yeah, I really like. And river, we have the straight. I decided to go for a small bet. So really, also in early game, try to put the money in the middle. Try to value as maximum. Here it is telling us that he has some kind of like maybe a ace, super hand, or maybe a jack X sometimes. So you should really, really go for value here. Sizing that could be okay, should be like, I think 12, maybe 20 big blinds also. Don't hesitate to go overbet, to go really for big sizings here. It's often going to be the last street where you can have value because it's not going to reopen the action. So here, I would advise to go for something between 12 and 20 maybe. Oh yeah, I decided to go for 15. I really like, and decided to fold. And you should really, really open the action to win as much as possible. Okay, here we have a limp. Also, yeah, something else that I see, an error in small blind or big blind vis blind spots. Normally, when you are really deep, you shouldn't open too much in the small blind. Why? Because you are really deep. If you open like 3.5 or 4x, the opponent has a good easy decision with almost all of his range because he has a lot of depth. He can realize his equity way easier, and he can also float sometimes and just outplay you because he's in position, because he's in big blind. So here with the BVB normal spots, in theory, you should open almost no hands, only play on limp re-raise or limp re-jam, limp re-raise, sorry, with good hands or with bluffs. And so if you don't limp re-raise, sorry, if you don't limp re-raise, it's going to be difficult to put a lot of money in the middle with your value hand. So you should really be aware of all that. Here I decided to stab directly. Something else that is really interesting. Normally people really don't defend themselves good enough on stabs. So you should really try to abuse from them of them. You should try to stab as much as possible and really put your opponents in a tough situation. Here we have a check call. We cannot never fold here on this spot. You should really always have in mind that we are really deep, and so those small sizing don't are not going to affect at all our block, our future game. So you should really be more sticky in general on small sizing when you are really a big when you have a big stack. Here I decided to follow the turn. It's normal. You don't have anything to continue. I don't have any high cards. I think with the king I would continue a lot of time, but here I don't have anything. Small hands. Oh, interesting. I decided to call this time. It's really normally not a standard play. Something that I'm trying to do right now a bit more is to call with those types of hands of one non-suited gappers in the early game in small blind, just to widen a bit my range. The better you play, normally, the more you can widen your range, the more you can play, I would say, unorthodox lines, and you're going to win more because you're able to win even with bad hands, I would say. But here, I really like the idea of call here, and we are going to see how I evolve from here. Normally, on those spots, you should never call because it's going to be too weak to call. I don't really like the four normal either, so I would like to check raise. Yeah, this is what I decided to go for several reasons. Is because I have some backdoors. Some people just see bet all the time without any consideration. So I really like if I decide if I dis or sorry, if I decide to call this hand pre-flop, the best option is to check raise. Then on an ace, it's quite easy to give up. What you should really understand is that he has the best aces in his range. I would raise ace king, ace queen. Really make sure when you are really deep to understand who has the nuts advantage, who has the strongest hands possible, because he's going to dict a bit the action. So here, I don't have the best hands. I don't have the best aces. I have so few jacks that normally I should polarize myself if I bet on this turn. So I decided not to go for a bluff that is going to be too costly. Sometimes you just have to understand that the conditions are changing, have changed, and so you shouldn't go for a bluff on this one. Okay, we are going to see another hand again. Check, check. Here we have a decision. We can either bet or check. I like both options. Now to understand which is the best option, I'm not sure. I'm not sure which is the best option. I like both. We can go for a stab or a check. I decided to check this time. Check also at the turn and check also at the river. I didn't transform my hand in bluff. And he should have in his shoes with the 10-7 off, should really try to bluff this hand. I think he's not never going to win at the showdown. So something else that I see error, that people don't try to do small bluff enough in the early game. And this will not be profitable for you. This one is really interesting. I have two options here. I could raise or I could call. The only thing that is going to be the matter is normally if you are really deep, you should have like now we have 130 big blinds deep. You should have always like I said at the early stages of the tournament. You should sorry at the video. You should always have a hand that can make some strong holdings like a straight flush. Here, ace four off is a bit too low in general. I could go for a raise, but I prefer also the call. So this is the primary decision, I think. And here with ace four off, I have some showdown value. I think I prefer only to call here. Yeah, this is what I decided on the ace. He decided to check. This is really unconventional in general, so it really means he has some showdown, I think. And I think also he never has an ace better than mine. So river is going to be quite easy to value here. He has some showdown, he never has a ace better than mine. So it's really normally a good spot to go for big bet here, to go for another bet. I think it's going to be really too sticky if he has like pocket ace, pocket nines, pocket tens. So I would really like to go for like 150 percent or like 200% bet here. I only went for full pot. I think it's not greedy enough on my side. I would have preferred to go for like yeah, 200 pot, 200% pot, like 25 big blinds would have been a better sizing, I think. Oh, it's okay. And we are going to do one last hand to show you exactly how to play when you have a really big stack. Now I have 300 big blinds. Also, all the skills that I will teach you in this video, in the next videos, it's the skills that allow me to be now a professional player. I win my life playing poker. I make a really good living playing poker. And I also teach people. So I have some students. I have some. I also have like a mentorship on several months. So if you have any questions, if you want to go deeper with me, if you want to work with me, if you want to improve your game and you want me to improve a game, then you can just click in the link below, and I will help you personally. We will see if I can solve your problems and solve them even faster and make you win money in the long term. So here, check, check, check. It's really, don't try to go too thin of a value out of position in three way spots. So here, I really like, and here we already have a decision. You should never bet normally on the ace because it really connects with my range and the range of Sidu. So he's in big blinds on this spot. You can check it here. He's really easy in big blind and decided to just make sure. Yeah, no, it was in small blind, sorry. It was in small blind, so you should never have the advantage of aces here because all of his ace king, ace queen will go in a raise pre-flop. So here he's really telling us that he has ace and no bluffs almost. So we could decide to fold directly on my shoes. Yeah, this is what I decided to go. I'm almost sure now that he has an ace, and we will see. No, we are not going to see the showdown here. Those moves are really not, I would really advise not to do the same. It's quite easy to understand that he only has an ace here on this spot and never any bluffs, because it's not natural to bluff on a card that improves the range of your opponent. Yeah, so we'll do a little summary. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you on when you have a big stack, when you're in early game and you have a big stack. I will do videos on other aspects of the game, other moments of the game, with other positions. So I really want to cover a bit more about how poker is not a luck game. It's not you can really win on the long term with poker if you have better decisions than your opponents. And I will cover everything in those videos. So I hope you really enjoy them. And I will put you the link to another video, the video of my biggest win ever. And I hope you really enjoy it. And otherwise, we will see each other in another video. Ciao, ciao.